Good evening, my friends. This is Paulette Atencio. I am from Paulette's Cocina on YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome. I would like to say thank you for all your friendship, for all your emails, for all your gifts, for wanting to be my friend. That really means a lot to me. I'm going to take this time to answer some of the questions that I have been receiving. And I am so sorry that I don't get to answer them one by one or in a very timely fashion. But sometimes things really get out of hand, and so I have to put them on or place them on the back burner until I get a chance to get enough to where I can answer all your questions in one video. Please continue to ask any questions that you feel that are necessary to ensure that you get or that you make a successful cooking or baking dish. I'm going to start off today by answering a question that comes from Terry Chavez, and she asks, when I am making bizcochitos, how do I make the sugar coating? Okay, a lot of times people will add the sugar coating to their bizcochitos before they bake them. Other times they wait until after. And the way that you prepare is you can add the 1 cup of sugar, and then you can place like 1/4 or 1/3 of cinnamon. And then you just mix it together, and that is how your coating is prepared. Okay? Thank you. And you keep asking whatever questions you might have. If I don't know the answer, for sure I will find it for you. With the next, we find Albert Meinstein. And his question is, I prepared the sweet rice para mi familia, and they loved it. Are raisins necessary in the recipe or not? No, you may exclude the raisins in your Spanish rice. In the olden days, they would use that for the reason that it was good tasting, and there was always plenty of raisins in everybody's home. They were pretty cheap, but the flavor was really good, and it would enhance the Spanish rice. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And I am so happy that your familia enjoyed it. If you want to learn anything else, please do not feel free to email me and let me know what it is that you need, and I will be more than happy to help you. Thank you. Next we go to Alberto Sanchez. What kind of filling is used in a strawberry pie? Well, usually you can, in the olden days, a lot of people would plant strawberries, or they could buy them cheaply at a farmer's market. But nowadays you can buy your strawberries frozen at any freezer space at a store, and you come and you just thaw them out and you continue with the recipe. The one that I used, I did that as a shortcut, was using the strawberries that come in the can. That is what I used. You will get outstanding results. There's no measuring, there's not anything. It is ready to be used. Thank you. And I hope that you will make a strawberry pie. And if you forgot how, just look up the video and redo it, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit. Thank you, Senor, for your email. And Hank the Dark asks, where are you from, Paulette? Well, I was born and raised in a very small community in northern New Mexico called Peñasco. And it is very close to Dixon and to Taos. It is a valley that kind of cradles in between those two towns. And thank you so much for asking, okay? And after that, I moved to Chama, and I stayed there for 39 years. I owned and operated a bakery and a catering service for like 39 years. And then after that, I moved to Albuquerque, and I've been here for almost 16 and a half years. And I want to say thank you because of people like yourselves. That is why I'm able to do this cooking and baking videos on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing and for sharing, and may all of you continue to do so. Thank you, Senor. The other one comes from Precious Pastries. Thank you so much. It is nice to hear from other businesses. Okay, hello, Paulette. I run a cooking show also. I am very fond of your channel. Keep it up. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Because sometimes I get a little discouraged. I say, well, maybe it's not really doing what it's supposed to, and maybe I should not do this anymore. But then I get emails like people as yourself, and then it always places a big smile on my face, and I say, yes, it is worth it. The next one comes from Mr. Pibb, and I came across this one, and I would like to share it. I hope that you are doing well. He asks me, how can you cook so well? I am yawned to know. Ay, Senor, what can I say? It's been many, many years that I've been in the kitchen. As a little girl, I was my mother's shadow. Everywhere that she would go, I was there. And she was always cooking because I come from a really large family. We're 10, 5 girls and 5 boys, and I was a baby. And so I was always asking my mother, why, Mom? Why did you do that? Why? And she never lost her temper. She would answer me. And then one time she went and she smiled and said, oh, mijita, that means my little girl, you are going to be such a fine cook someday. And I remember looking down. I was kind of sad. And I said, pero mamá. I said it in Spanish because I didn't know English at that time. And I said, pero mamá, I don't want to be a cook. I want to be a princess. Everybody started laughing. And the whole kitchen started laughing and laughing when I said I wanted to be a princess. I didn't want to be stuck in the kitchen. But anyway, I never did get those glass slippers, and I never found my Prince Charming to where I could just prance back and forth. But I did fall in love with cooking at some point in my life, and it's been my best friend, my companion, and everything else. And I'm just so happy to be able to share it with all of you. Thank you, thank you. The next question comes from Sergeant Stowe. He asked me, hi, Paulette, where can I purchase arroz? Arroz is rice in English, by the way. Thanks for the information. Any farmer's market, any grocery store will carry arroz. You will find the different grains of rice, the different flavors. They have them already unprepared, prepared, any way that you want to. You just follow the recipes and everything will be all right. And I'm so happy that you like rice. I do too. There are so many dishes. You know, back in Peñasco, they could have, for instance, rice, but it wasn't like if we just ate rice in the same manner every time, rice in the same way. No, they had such an imagination. They would change it here, add this, add that, do it with salt, do it with sugar. They would fry it. They would boil it. Oh my goodness! And the dishes, they just grew and grew and grew. And I believe that's why rice is so popular, because you can have it any way that you want. Thank you so much. Okay. And I believe somebody's snoring already. I think it's my dog. No, that's. I'm so sorry. That's my husband. That's my husband. I am sorry. Come on, laugh. That's okay. Come on, laugh. I won't get angry. Come on. That's what videos and that's what family is all about. I'm not that serious. I'm a comedian, in case you didn't know. But anyway, let me go to the next question, okay? Hold on. The next one comes this one comes from Karima Yolande. And her question is, what are natillas? Oh, thank you so much for that question. Natillas is an old dessert that was made since the 1900s. And it is like a Spanish pudding is what it is. And it is made with milk and with egg yolks and egg whites, with cinnamon. It's a wonderful, it's a very, very creamy pudding. And I don't know if you had a chance to watch my video, but there is one on making natillas, and you can learn from that. If you get a chance, watch it, and it'll take you through all the steps and a little bit of the history of it. I hope that you will try making them and that you will like it, okay? Thank you. The next one comes from John Baum, and he asks, what is meant or implied when you say platos del campo? Okay, platos is a word like a plate. In this case, we're referring to a dish. Campo means like at camp or outside, almost like a barbecue. Like when you prepare, plato del campo means when you prepare the food outside. And all year round, once the winter passes, oh, I just love to cook outside. Breakfast, lunch, and supper, everything is done there. But the thing is that this summer has been really hot, and we have a lot of mosquitoes. And I've been trying to make or complete an outside kitchen. The next one comes from a Fix-It Man, and he will ask, how long should biscochitos be in the oven? Usually that's an easy question. Some people will place a degree to maybe 350, and usually that'll take maybe like 10, 12 minutes. You kind of have to keep an eye on them. I always say check them at 8 minutes. If your temperature is at 375, it also depends on the thickness of your biscochito. The thicker, the little bit more it's going to take. But for the most part, it should be like 8 to 10 minutes, okay? And you can tell once it starts to brown on the bottom, your biscochitos will be ready. You cool them off. If you try to remove them right away, there's a chance that they will break. They will become brittle. But if you wait just a little bit and then remove them, it'll be fine. And then you can sprinkle your sugar and your cinnamon on top. Let them cool completely, and then they're ready to be stored. And they freeze beautifully, and they also melt really, really well. Thank you, Senor. Thank you. I hope that you keep enjoying the biscochitos and that you have learned how to make them. And if you want an easier recipe for making biscochitos, please let me know. Some of the recipes that I'm doing for you are from the olden days, how they did them in Peñasco years and years and years ago, since, well, way before I was born. But things have modernized a little bit, and recipes have been altered. And if you want an easier recipe, please just let me know. I will be more than happy to teach you step by step so you can make your biscochitos, and who knows, maybe you can get a blue ribbon at the next county fair. Thank you. Now we're going to go. Okay. And now we're going to go to Noun Town. Thank you so much. It's nice to hear from someone from that company. Thanks for sharing your recipes. But do you feel that these traditions should be carried on? Oh, but of course, Senor. There are always memories. And memories, for whatever reason, are left on the back burner. Anytime they are just lost forever. And you know, with all the modernized living and the working class and everybody always being in a hurry to get here, to go there. It's like nobody seems to have the time to really enjoy making something on their own. Everybody wants like fast, and they want it now. And everything seems to be available at the touch of their hand. If they're willing to pay for it, it seems as though it magically appears. You can go to any grocery store, and it seems anything that you want, there's a very good chance that you're going to find it. You're going to bring it home. Maybe you're going to warm it. Maybe you're going to place it in the microwave. Maybe you're going to stick it in the oven, and boom, just like magic, there it is. It's already made for you. And I'm not saying that homemade can be better or that commercial things are better. It is just the idea of of being an artist, of being able to create, of being able to say, you know, this is something that I learned, and I'm going to try it. And when I did, I really enjoyed it. And I feel that I want to leave something to my children, because cooking and baking, like storytelling, like other things, it's becoming like a dying art. And if somebody doesn't come forward to revive it, we will never know. We will just say, well, I hear that people used to cook outside, and they would just make camps, and they didn't have a stove, and they had to bake their meats and their breads and everything underground. And you can just kind of hear bits and pieces of how people lived and how they died. And I think this is a history that is coming forward. It's never mentioned hardly in any of our history books, but our people were survivors. And they attempted different things. They were poor people. They compromised. They were able to get ingredients and learn how to weave them together to make an outstanding dish, something that would be healthy and fulfilling for their families. And that is what it's all about, being able to do something like a musician. One would say, well, you know, why should new generations learn how to play an instrument? Because if a new generation doesn't learn how to play an instrument, we will just have to listen to the ones that played it or that learned before them. The same is with me. I have been working as a storyteller for many, many years. Stories that I learned from my mama. Around the fireplace, we used to have an horno. It looked like a fireplace, like what the Native Americans used to bake their bread. And I remember that I was so scared that I was going to forget him. And I kept trying and trying to memorize him because I didn't know how to write. And I found out so many years later, when my children were already starting school, that the storytelling was a dying art. Children did not have a storyteller in their life anymore. And like now, so many children don't even have grandmas in their, and when they do, the grandmas from nowadays, they are so young that they don't even look like grandmas. They're just very, very young. But it's nice to know how people were creative, how they used their hands, and how they embellished the different ingredients to make something so good. It is really important, even if you don't make a living at it, but at least to know that you were part of that history, that you learned, that you relived it by making it, by tasting it, instead of buying something at the grocery store. Thank you. The next one, it comes from Rice, a Christian Tree. And they tell me, hello, Paulette's Cocina. What is your background? I would like to know. Oh, my goodness. A lot of times, I guess that necessity is a mother of invention, or so they say. But I am known to be a lady that wears many hats. My background is that many, many years ago, when I was living in Chama, I was always cooking and baking. And like I had mentioned before, I had a bakery and a catering service for 25 years. And I never learned, I kind of have learned just by watching the elderly, by watching my grandma. My mother was my best teacher and my role model. And I did this by trial and error, I guess. And sometimes like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, I was already making the bread or that was ready to be baked. I would daydream sometimes. Then I would say, if I had to do my life over, I think that I would like to go to college. I would like to obtain a degree in culinary arts. And so when my children were away at college, I decided after 25 years to close the doors. And that was a very, very difficult time in my life. It is like if someone had passed away. I was in mourning almost. I didn't know any other life. That was the only life I knew. But I did. I went to TVI here in Albuquerque, and I obtained a culinary arts degree. I went and I have taught culinary arts in various places, on the Women's Penitentiary in Grants, the Welfare Reform Program, the Children's Protective Services for a little while. And so I've been teaching classes at schools, and also now I have my cooking and baking show on YouTube. And soon I am going to start a catering service with my 2 daughters, and it'll be coming fairly soon. We're now getting all the paperwork and everything together, and hopefully before Christmas we can start taking orders and making your events a lot more enjoyable. A lot of our custom-made cookies will be able to be mailed off, but I will keep you posted when the time comes. Thank you so much. The next one comes from John Park. And thanks for this. I tried your recipe for tortillas, and it came out wonderful. Is nutmeg a substitute for cinnamon? Thanks for the information. He has two questions. And I am very happy that you learned how to make tortillas. And again, if your tortillas don't come round, not to worry, okay? Because if your dough is good tasting, the rest is history. Everybody will love them. And with time, you will learn to roll them out. Just like if you were shuffling out some playing cards. And another thing, you can use nutmeg. Usually, one of the spices that is more popular in the Spanish cuisine is cinnamon. But the nutmeg is also used, especially like empanaditas or to sprinkle on top of different desserts. You can alternate. Both are really, really good. There is not one or the other. It's kind of just your preference. I want to say thank you to all of you for your wonderful questions, and please feel free to keep them coming, and for subscribing, for sharing, and I know that together we can make this happen. Thank you so much, and until another time, adios, mis amigos, from Paulette's Cocina on YouTube channel.